Hello everybody and welcome to the Texas Motor Speedway for the 2006 Dickies 500 in the 22nd race in our 2006 NR2003 season. Last episode's Brickyard 400 winner and your points leader Jimmie Johnson leads us to the green flag alongside Tony Stewart in the 20s. We are underway here in the Lone Star State in Texas. Johnson, Stewart, Harvick, Kyle Busch, Bowyer the top five as we get underway here in Texas. And is Jimmie Johnson out to the early advantage over Harvick, who is right there second in the points behind Jimmie, who's so far the only driver to clinch his spot in the 10-man chase. Jimmie Johnson locked in with 4 wins on the season and has had the points lead ever pretty much the whole dang season, ever since the Las Vegas. And now you got Dale Jr., Kyle Busch up there, but Jimmie Johnson will lead the opening lap of racing here at Texas over Kevin Harvick. Now we on to lap 10, where Johnson's finally been caught by the 20 of Tony Stewart, who had a really strong race here, the spring race here in Texas, trying to get redemption this time around. And Tony Stewart drives his way into the race lead for the first time tonight here in Texas over Jimmie Johnson on lap 11. Now we go on to lap 21. Stewart negotiating the lap car, Paul Menard, and here comes Kyle Busch in the 5. The younger of the Busch brothers right to the inside lane, takes advantage and takes the lead. Kyle Busch, our third different leader tonight. He will take the lead from Tony Stewart, but his teammate, the 48, Jimmie Johnson, right there on his back bumper. Here comes the 48, Jimmie Johnson, so consistent, so fast, not quite able to make the pass. Kyle Busch will be your leader here in Texas. Now a little bit later, so far a very phenomenal stage, great racing, competitive up at the front. Kyle Busch still holding the lead, but now under fire from Tony Stewart's Home Depot Chevrolet. Once again, here comes the 48, Jimmie Johnson, another big run behind them both. Could have a 3-wide move here possibly. Johnson decides to stay behind Tony Stewart and not risk getting involved in a crash here. Stewart and Busch continue back and forth, side by side. Great battle for the lead right now down the back straightaway here in Texas, but looks like it's going to be Tony Stewart prevailing in this battle over Kyle Busch and Jimmie Johnson. Now as they get to the lap traffic of David Stremme and Kenny Wilson. Stewart's leading. The caution is on the track. Caution on the speedway here in Texas on lap 57 with a little under 20 to go in the stage. And I believe it is for the 32 of Travis Quaffle, as he got turned by Jeff Green, crashing the outside wall. That brings out the yellow. I missed the end of that crash because I accidentally skipped ahead, so my bad on that one. But Quaffle gets wrecked by Jeff Green. He will stay in the race but will be damaged. And now we have a restart where we are back underway here on lap 61, 15 to go in stage 1. Jimmie Johnson easily clearing Tony Stewart and Kevin Harvick on the restart. Establishes himself as the leader. You got Stewart right there in second as Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick do battle behind them for third. So Jimmie Johnson, your leader here in Texas, doing a great job. With the 20, Tony Stewart coming down pit road. What is Tony Stewart doing? He's running in second place on the lead lap, and for some reason is going to pit under green. Some sort of issue on the 20 car. Tony Stewart, huge implications for this race there. He had one of the best cars, and now he's going to find himself a lap down here as Johnson continues to lead over Kevin Harvick. Caution on the track here, Texas. There is an accident in turn 3 here. It's a big wreck. The 07 of Clint Bowyer gets drilled by Dale Jarrett and hit again by Ward Burton up in the air over the nose of Mark Martin. A hellacious crash here in Texas starts when Denny Hamlin turns Clint Bowyer into the outside wall, who spins. Jeff Gordon also gets significant damage. He's a bubble driver. That has huge chase implications. And Bowyer slides down the track here. He thinks he's good until he gets absolutely walloped by the 66 of Jeff Green, who just barely tags him, collecting himself and Reed Sorensen. Big damage to David Gilliland in the 38, Casey Kane in the 9, Greg Biffle in the 16. So even more bubble drivers. And there's the 49 of Mike Bliss gets collected. Mark Martin goes sliding in after he got landed on by Bowyer. Dale Jarrett gets taken out. Just a huge crash, hard crash at full speed. Does a big mistake there by the rookie Denny Hamlin. And Clint Bowyer, the Jack Daniels 07, must be just bitten by a snake bite because he has had some nasty, nasty luck this season. Just can't catch a break. Unbelievable Clint Bowyer's luck this season, and so many other guys caught up in the big one here at Texas early in this race. Jeff Burton also piles into the back of Dale Jarrett. I mean, that's really going to be important with Mark Martin, who's trying to make the chase. Kane and Biffle are 2 bubble drivers getting collected in this. Really shakes things up. Jimmy Johnson scored as the race leaders. We're going to get back underway here for a one-lap shootout to end stage 1. It's going to be between Jimmy Johnson and his younger teammate of Kyle Busch in the 5. Here comes Rowdy with a great restart in the outside lane, able to clear Jimmy Johnson for the race lead. This has to hang on for the rest of this lap, and he'll pick up his 3rd stage win of the season. You see the list of guys out of the race from that crash. You know, Jarrett, you got Biffle, you got Kane out, Mark Martin, Jeff Burton, Clint Boyer. Burton also a bubble driver, keep in mind him. Then, of course, Boyer, Jeff Green, Casey Kane there, Reed Sorensen, David Gillen. Now through 3 and 4 the final time in the stage, it's going to be Kyle Busch picking up the stage 1 win here in Texas. His 3rd stage win of the season, followed up by Johnson, Kurt Busch, Casey Mears, Kyle Petty, Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin, Joe Nemechek, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. earns the final stage point. So Kyle Busch wins stage 1 here in Texas. And it's off to a great start in this race as we now get ready to move on to stage 2 after that wild crash. We once again look at the list of guys out of the race. And we'll see. We've got 31 cars left in this race, less than that on the lead lap. Casey Mears now restarts on the outside of Kurt Busch, and Mears will lead his 1st lap of the night here in Texas. How about that? But yeah, shame for Casey Kane, who's having a solid run, especially Clint Boyer was really, really fast. Mark Martin was having a good day, and they get taken out. Biffle, all these guys, it's a terrible, terrible crash. And completely changes the complexion of this race, where now it is Casey Mears up there leading, but you got the Busch brothers and Jimmy Johnson, the favorites. As remember, Tony Stewart is 1 lap down because he pitted right before that big wreck happened, so he still has some work to do. But it's Casey Mears leading Kyle Petty here at Texas, but not for much longer. Here comes the 2 of Kurt Busch, the elder of the Busch twins. Kurt Busch now taking the lead here at Texas Motor Speedway, but his brother right back to the inside. Looks like we're in for another Busch brothers battle, this time here at Texas. Kyle and Kurt going at it for the race lead, and Kyle will get the better of his older brother here on lap 95. Kyle Busch taking the lead back, trying to sweep the stages here in Texas. Nearly makes some contact with Travis Quaffle. The 19 Elliott Sadler has been crashed. Huge damage to the Evernham car. Looks like maybe Tony Raines wrecked him to the outside wall, but Elliott Sadler is completely done for the night. Huge damage here in Texas. Cautions out. Busch brothers the front row as we get back underway. Sadler will end up DNFing in 31st place, leaving us with 30 cars in this race as we work to get to the end of stage 2 and 3. As the Busch brothers battle for these, Matt Kenseth, the 17 of slow on the racetrack, as is the 1 of Martin Truex Jr. as they glitch together on the restart. A well-known NR2003 glitch, and Truex and Matt Kenseth significant damage to both cars. And that is huge for Kenseth, especially because Kenseth was on the lead lap in the top 15 when this happened. He's a bubble driver. He needs as much points as he can get. But getting involved in this is going to significantly damage him, force him to pit, and lose a few laps. It's going to cost him a ton of points, and he'll be behind the 8 ball going into Watkins Glen next episode. But Kyle Busch takes the lead from his brother, and now he will lead his brother Kurt as well as his teammate Jimmy Johnson, but Kurt Busch not going to let his younger brother drive away that easily, and now Kurt Busch back to the inside, takes the lead from Kyle Busch here late in stage 2 as Truex is officially out of the race. He will finish in 30th tonight. And now a few laps later, Jimmy Johnson to the inside of Kurt Busch. Here on lap 135 in the 48, your points leader continues an incredible string of races in this amazing regular season as he easily works his way right back by Kurt Busch. And Jimmy Johnson once again leading here at Texas. The 48 going to be tough to beat when we get to the chase for the cup, that's for sure. And now the 18 of J.J. Yaley's had a mechanical failure and has parked it on the apron. No caution. We will stay green, but that will knock J.J. Yaley out of this race with a mechanical issue. And now Jimmy Johnson moves up too high on the racetrack, opens the door for Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch drives his way into the race lead here on lap 150. Now here on lap 161, about 6 to go in stage 2. Kyle Busch looking for the stage sweep, gets to the inside of his teammate Jimmy Johnson, and Busch takes the lead back. 6 to go in stage 2. Kyle Busch leads here in Texas. Now here we are with just a few short laps remaining in this stage. Johnson back on the outside lane of Kyle Busch, who gets pinned behind the lap car of Sterling Marlin, and Jimmy Johnson back out front once again, trying to pick up the stage win for the 2nd week in a row. But now Kyle Busch gets back to the inside of Jimmy here with just 5 to go in the stage, or rather 4 to go in the stage, my correction, 4 to go in stage 2. Kyle Busch to the inside, takes lead away from Jimmy Johnson. His brother follows through. They get by Matt Kenseth, and now it is Kyle Busch's stage to lose. Here we are on the final lap of stage number 2. Kyle Busch catching up to Paul Menard. Had that issue earlier in the race, a few laps down, but Busch catching up to him. Now here comes the 20 of Tony Stewart trying to unlap himself at the last minute. Can he do it? He's going to run out of time, and Kyle Busch wins stage 2, sweeping the stages here in Texas over Jimmie Johnson and Kurt Busch behind him here. Junior will get points, as will Harvick, Casey Mears, and the 17 of Matt Kenseth is crashing in a huge hit into the 40 of David Stremme. A massive crash down the front stretch right at the end of the stage here in Texas. David Stremme and Matt Kenseth, as Carl Edwards, Kyle Petty, Joe Nemechek, and Jeff Gordon also collect stage points. A horrible, horrible crash. Oh my goodness, but Kyle Busch picks up the stage 2 win, his 4th stage win this season, and he sweeps the stages for the first time in his career. You see the 42 of Casey Mears turn Kenseth into the wall, and then nowhere for David Stremme to go. Just T-bones Matt Kenseth, a vicious crash. Both cars destroyed, both cars out of this race. Kenseth and Stremme are done. Now, as we get back underway to continue the stage, to begin stage 3, Travis Kvapil phases together with Robbie Gordon, and the engine is completely gone on the tide ride. Travis Kvapil now out of this race here in Texas, after phasing together, glitching there with Robbie Gordon. Meanwhile, back at the front, you got Jimmie Johnson 3 wide back here with lappers Jamie McMurray and Bobby Labonte. But at the front of the field, it's Kyle Busch battling Kevin Harvick for the race lead. Harvick was strong early, then kind of faded back a little bit. He's been quiet, but now, to begin this final stage, Harvick has found the speed. They made the right adjustments, and now the closer leading the way here in Texas, Kevin Harvick, out front over Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards. And now here on lap 173, huge run in the inside lane. Kyle Busch taking the lead back, and he will clear Harvick. Kyle Busch, your new leader here in Texas, trying to get a perfect points day, and then a caution would come out, so we'll be back underway here on lap 196, so about 73 to go. Johnson and Harvick the front row. You see there on the left side of your screen, Kvapil, Stremme, Kenseth out of the race. They will end up being 26th, 27th, and 28th respectively tonight. But it is the 48 of Jimmie Johnson, your points leader, who's going to lead them all as he gets to the inside of Kevin Harvick and makes the pass for the lead here in Texas. But Harvick hanging tough on the outside lane. They'll continue to be side by side out of turn 4 down the front straightaway for the lead. Harvick by a nose at the start-finish line, but Johnson giving it his all. A great battle for the race lead. Been some great racing all night long here in Texas between all the leaders, and now it is Jimmie Johnson who takes the lead away from Harvick, but not for much longer. Here comes Kyle Busch back to the front, and the 15 has blown an engine. There goes Paul Menard. His engine has expired. This is our second engine failure of the day. Menard's goes kaput. He is done, and now we have a restart here. You're on lap 206, 63 laps to go. Tony Stewart just raced his way back onto the lead lap, so now look out for him to be in contention. But it's the Busch brothers once again doing battle for the race lead here in Texas. Kyle Busch to the inside of Kurt Busch. He's got Kyle Petty right there behind him. Jimmie Johnson, Carl Edwards still hanging in the picture. The 99 having a good day to put himself in a better position to make the chase for the Cup. And Kyle Busch looking to get a perfect day here in Texas. Leads the way late in the final stage of racing. Now he gets held up by Robbie Gordon. Here comes the closer, Kevin Harvick. But they've actually both been passed by Jimmie Johnson and Tony Stewart. So the 48 is back out front. Johnson leading the way with just 55 laps to go, but then here comes the 20 of Tony Stewart to the inside lane, and Kyle Busch gets to the inside of Tony Stewart. Looks like it's going to be a 5-car battle for the win. The Busch brothers, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, and Jimmie Johnson. Some incredible racing going on here tonight in Texas. This time it is Kyle Busch barely edging out ahead of Kevin Harvick here on lap 224. We have just 45 laps to go in this race, and now Kevin Harvick to the inside lane, the 29 back to the front. Here comes Kevin Harvick. It seems he's always quiet, but he gets to the front at the very end of these races, right when it's time to get the victory. The closer is in position, but now here comes Tony Stewart, who has charged all the way back from a lap down to take the race lead with just 34 to go in Texas. How about that for Tony Stewart? What a comeback drive. But now he gets held up by Dave Blaney. Now here comes Kurt Busch trying to get his 3rd win of this season in that Penske Blue Deuce. And now ahead of him, you got Kevin Harvick, who takes the lead back. Now the laps continue to tick away. Just 30 laps to go. Harvick back out front, and these 5 guys continue to just battle it out through lap traffic. Some unbelievable racing here in Texas. I mean, I'm really impressed by what this track has been producing today. And now Jimmie Johnson uses Jamie McMurray as a pick, and the 48 is going to drive his way right back into the race lead. Jimmie Johnson once again out front here. Now we have just 18 to go. Johnson leading, but now here comes Kevin Harvick as everyone's double blocked by Newman and Riggs, the 2 lap cars. who's going to get through this the best, and it's going to be Kevin Harvick who's going to take the lead back with just 17 laps remaining at Texas over Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson. Now Tony Stewart surges right back into the race lead now with just 14 laps to go. Stewart takes the lead away from Harvick, and now the 20's going to blow an engine. Unbelievable. What a turn of events. In the middle of turn 4 while leading the race, Tony Stewart blows an engine. Oh my goodness. What is going on? Just terrible stroke of bad luck. Caution is going to be called. Tony Stewart blows an engine from the lead with just 10 laps to go. Oh my goodness, this has been one hell of a race. Now here comes Kyle Busch on the restart with just 4 laps to go in Texas. It's a shootout to the end of this one. Kyle Busch gets a brilliant restart, easily clearing the rest of the competition. Could this be the way that Kyle Busch drives on to his 3rd win of his sophomore campaign? No sophomore slump for the young driver. And here we go, white flag in the air, final lap presented by Credit One Bank here at Texas. Kyle Busch has driven away from his older brother Kurt, as well as the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, and is well on his way to victory lane once again here as they go through 3 and 4 for the final time. It's going to be a battle for second behind him. They're going to run out of time. He capitalized on the late race troubles of Tony Stewart and had a great late race restart, and Kyle Busch wins it in Texas. Rowdy in victory lane once again. Jimmy Johnson second, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Petty the top 5. Casey Mears, Carl Edwards 6th and 7th. Denny Hamlin, Jeff Gordon, Joe Nemechek ran out of the top 10. So Kyle Busch gets the job done here in Texas, leading 97 laps to get his 4th career win and 3rd this season, which ties him for 71st on the all-time wins list. So congrats to Kyle Busch, the younger of the Busch brothers, with a phenomenal performance, a perfect race, sweeping the stages, winning the race, got the job done. And we'll park in victory lane. You see the race results there on the left side of your screen, and we'll see the updated chase grid momentarily. Now we look at the updated chase grid. Just 4 races remain in the regular season until the chase for the Cup begins. Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick have now clinched their spots in the chase for the Cup, joining, of course, Jimmy Johnson. So those 3 drivers have punched their tickets. Looking very good is Kurt Busch, Mark Martin, Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards, Jeff Burton, all with 90 or more point cushions to the cut line. They got Dale Jr. and Denny Hamlin both extending their gaps, now at plus 54 and 39 above the cut respectively. Scott Riggs jumps to 11th. He's still almost a full race out, as is Greg Biffle, Jeff Gordon, Casey Kane, Matt Kenseth, Casey Mears, and Jamie McMurray, all within a full race of that cut line. Going to be a wild end of the regular season as we head to Watkins Glen for our final road course race of the season next episode. So big one for Kyle Busch. And as we end this episode, as always, I want to give a special shout out to my channel members. Thank you very much to Brenda Breen and Jeremy Isley for your support. I really appreciate it. It helps me and this channel continue to grow, produce some awesome content, now on our road to 2,000 subscribers. So those of you that are watching this video or not subscribed, please do subscribe. I really appreciate it. It's completely free. Only takes a couple of seconds. If you want to become a paid channel member and get access to exclusive perks, link is down below. And until next time, I hope you all have a good one.